Hello, my name is Lauren Wishek, and I am a teacher with DC Public Schools at C.W. Harris Elementary School. For weeks 8 and 9 of the Social Studies Learning Plan, we are going to learn about geography in order to answer the compelling question, how do we share locations with others? You will respond to the compelling question by identifying and drawing one location in your home. Then, using directions, you will describe how someone can get to your location from the front door of your home. But first, let's think about the compelling question, how do we share locations with others? When I read this question, I immediately wonder, what is a location? Have I heard that word before? If so, where have I heard it? Even if I'm not sure yet, this picture looks familiar to me. It looks like the maps that I see on my phone. Let me think about when I use those maps on my phone. I usually use them when I need to get somewhere and I don't know how. It helps me get directions to walk or drive, or it helps me pick which bus to use. I wonder if there are other ways that we share locations. I'm going to be thinking about that for the next few days as I work through this packet. Next, let's think about supporting question 1. What is a location? I was just wondering about this when reading the compelling question, and now I see that I will get an answer. Listen as I read this short text aloud to you. A location is a position of a specific point on the surface of the Earth. That's just the planet we live on. They can appear in pictures, maps, or other tools that we use to explore. For example, the supermarket is a location on the map below because it is a specific point. Okay, so I see that the supermarket is right here. When I look at it on the map, I see that it has a label and a symbol to represent the real building, just like the symbols we used on calendars to represent holidays. So now you're going to look for other locations on this neighborhood map. Remember, the supermarket had a symbol and a label. What other locations like this can you find on the map? Are there symbols you recognize without labels? Can you figure out what they represent? Make a list of the other locations you find on the map on these lines here. After you are finished exploring the map, you're going to play a game. You will listen as your adult reads clues aloud to you describing different locations. Listen to the clues carefully. Then write or draw the location that is being described in this box here. Next, let's think about supporting question 2. What are directions? I was already thinking about directions earlier when I was thinking about how the maps on my phone help me to find certain locations. I wonder what other kinds of directions there are. You will spend 2 days exploring this question. On the first day, you will practice differentiating between left and right. Those are 2 words we can use when giving directions. There are images of hands and feet for you to match up to as you learn. Once you think you've got it, you'll use what you learned to answer these 2 questions here. Which way is the boy turning? And which shoe is untied? By circling either left or right. It's also worth noting that there is a digital extension video that can be found here if technology and time permits. You may find it helpful practice before you have to answer the questions. On the second day exploring this topic, your adult is going to read this book to you called Gordon Finds His Way, which is copied in the packet. In this story, Gordon gets lost when trying to find an important location. Pay attention to how Gordon gets directions. Does he use a tool or does he ask someone? What kinds of words do the characters use when discussing directions? Do they use our vocabulary words from yesterday, left and right? Do they use new words? You should be listening for all these things as your adult reads the story to you. Then, you will use the map of Gordon's school to trace the path he followed to get to his important location. You may need to go back in the story for help tracing his specific path, paying attention to where he came into the school and the order of the directions he followed. That's okay. It's always helpful to go back in texts. Now it's time to put all your new knowledge and practice into this unit's performance task. Remember, you are going to identify and draw one location or specific point in your home in this box here. Then, using directions, you will describe how someone can get to your location from the front door of your home. You can always choose another starting point if the front door is too close or too far from your location. After you give the directions, you will either write the directions yourself with the assistance of your adult, or you will have your adult record what you said. If you're ready for the challenge of writing them yourself, use simple commands such as turn left and walk to the door. And remember that your adult is there to help you. The most important thing, though, is to practice giving directions. You can always go back to some of the information from earlier in the packet if you need help identifying a location or deciding on direction words that you can use. Thank you for all of your hard work, and I know that both your teacher and I appreciate your effort.